Welcome back. On the occasion of the World Environment Day 2012, the Cairo Climate Talks hosted its 7th panel discussion to review and assess Egypt's potential for using renewable energies, and that was held on the 5th of June in Salmawy. Experts agreed that the desert brings tremendous potential for Egypt given the excellent conditions for renewable energies in the country. There are real chances for its economy and also its development. And joining us this morning to shed more light on this very interesting and important issue are Dr. Martin Bergfelder, the head of the Science Department at the German Embassy in Cairo. Thank you so much for being with us this morning, sir. And also we are joined by Dr. Hafez Salmawy, Managing Director of the Egyptian Electric Utility and Consumer Protection Regulatory Agency. Thank you so much, sir, for being with us.
Dr. Hafez, let me start by talking about the Cairo climate talks. I know that there was a speech that you have delivered during this panel. Could you tell us more about it so that we can understand what is it about?
Yes, thank you. Actually, my speech in that meeting was about regional initiative for renewable energy. There is several regional initiatives available for renewable energy which try to stimulate regional cooperation through cooperating in renewable energy area. And regarding Egypt, there is a lot of potential available. So my talk was, after reviewing available initiatives, I talked about what is Egypt's position regarding these initiatives and how Egypt could benefit out of this and what kind of changes Egypt should take in order to get the maximum benefit out of this initiative.
Okay. Dr. Martin Bergfelder, Germany in particular gives great attention to the issue of renewable energy, and you are seeing great potential here in Egypt in this regard. Egypt is blessed with great potential for renewable energy. So more ideas about your efforts to promote this idea of using Egypt as a source of renewable energy.
We are cooperating very closely with Egypt in many fields, but energy is one of the main topics, and it's a very complex issue. It relates to many things. First of all, renewable energy is very important to help solve the global problem of climate change. So fossil fuels account for burning of fossil fuels, petroleum, gas, natural gas account for most of the global warming. It's a global problem, so if Egypt manages to reduce its greenhouse gas emissions by using more renewable energies, that will also help Germany. That is one thing. Second thing is Germany is a major player on the international market regarding renewable energies. We have more than 500,000 jobs in this sector in Germany. So German companies are very strong in this, so there is also some business opportunity for Germany in Egypt. And last but not least, we are also thinking in the midterm or long term whether we could get some imports from the Mediterranean region to Europe in order to meet the growing energy demand in Germany or in Europe as a whole.
And you see it as a win-win situation to increase your investments here in Egypt in this sector and to import energy.
Definitely. But the main thing, the first thing for Egypt, I think, is to develop really the local market. Exports are, step 2, 3 or 4. First of all, there is a big potential here in Egypt. In the whole region, it's a global trend, but especially in the region, countries like Morocco, Algeria, the Gulf countries are heavily investing in this because it's a future market. Fossil fuels will end at some point, oil at some point will be finished. So there are, you have to look ahead to the future and see what you can do.
So you see Egypt as part of a global solution to greenhouse gases?
Definitely. We are all affected by it, and we are all part of the problem, and we can all be part of the solution, basically.
Dr. Hafez, okay.
Yes, just to give a background on the potential for renewable energy in Egypt is based on a study which was carried by the German Aerospace Agency, that just 250 kilometers by 250 kilometers from the Egypt desert could generate energy which covers the whole world demand of energy. let's imagine the whole world demand of energy. So we could think how much potential Egypt have, opportunities Egypt could have if we could develop this sector. Yes, there is several challenges for developing this sector. It might take a time, but it's need a kind of consistent, continuous policy for a long-term policy in order to achieve such kind of targets.
Well, nowadays we hope that we're going to have, of course, a new president, and we are starting a new era in Egypt. And we talked a lot about having some scientific researches about renewable energy and how Egypt needs this a lot, especially during the upcoming period. But the problem is that it needs a lot of money, a lot of effort, and it is a long-term vision. And this is maybe the main concern, that usually we are looking for the quick project will bring money, and this will take a lot of money, and we're not going to see any results now. Where are we from this, and how important it is today?
Yes. One of the things, actually, we are not starting from scratch. Actually, Egypt already have reasonable renewable energy sector. We are now developing 550 megawatt of wind energy in the Red Sea. Also, let's remember that we have the high dams, the Aswan Dam, which is practically renewable energy source, hydro energy. But sure, we need much more effort in order to develop this further. As I mentioned, that we have very strong potential. It's not just energy, although energy in itself is very much. We couldn't achieve economical growth unless we could satisfy the need for the economy from energy. And as we rely more and more on fossil fuels like oil and gas, it means that we are pressuring our natural resources. We might end by importing, which is not that far from nowadays. So we need to replace this with a kind of an indigenous resources like renewable energy, which are available locally. It's not just, as I mentioned, an energy issue, it's also a job creation, as also a business opportunity for local producer. I not mean local producer like manufacturing, but in designing, construction, operation and maintenance. So a lot of services also relevant to develop. So as Dr. Berg mentioned that 500,000 jobs has been created through the German economy through relying on renewable energy. Similar could be also achieved in Egypt. Also, as it has been mentioned, that it can be an export opportunity for the economy. And Egypt has a very good geographical location. We are also almost in the middle of the world, and we could represent a kind of what we call usually Egyptian strategy, energy hub, Egypt becoming an energy hub. So a lot of opportunities could be created. So, as you also mentioned, research and development, which is very much important, involve university, research institution in this. And all of this needs to be done jointly and in coordination in order to achieve, which is currently being done, but I think this needs to be much more stimulated in the future.
Dr. Martin Bergfelder, you talked about renewable energy in Egypt as a new industry or a new sector for business. We talked extensively on it in terms of import-export, research development, and also skilled people. We need skilled people to work in this field, and also job opportunities, as you mentioned.
Yes,
so this area is very open. It's a very promising area.
There's a lot to do. We are not starting from scratch, as my colleague has said, and also the technology is, it is not that it's not magic that needs to be developed. There's already
the base. We have the base
in Germany, in China, in India, and other countries, Spain. Production of wind turbines, production of concentrated solar power plants, photovoltaics. The technology is there. It's still improving. If you want, if you compare it with the computer age, we are maybe in 1960 or 1970. So the solar power plants we will see in 20 years will look totally different from now. But there are already technologies that are competitive. Also in Egypt, in some parts, renewable already be competitive. And as was mentioned, there is some potential to create jobs here also. But of course, there needs to be some training. And And that is what we are doing from the German side also. Like one example, there's a joint program between the Cairo University and the University of Kassel in Germany that are creating or developing master students that are exactly for the renewable energy sector. The German university, the Technical University of Berlin, has opened a campus in El Gouna at the Red Sea, where also energy engineering will be taught, and the DESERTEC initiative that has been mentioned, there is a research network that has been set up which comprises Egyptian universities, German universities, and also universities from the whole region here, exactly trying to do this, cooperating between universities and developing the skills locally here to, to be able to tackle the opportunities.
Okay, we only have less than 1 minute left. I want to ask you quickly about the Egyptian-German Joint Committee for Renewable Energy and Energy Sufficiency.
Yes. Actually, it's a kind of a cooperative works between the Egyptian side represented by Minister of Electricity and Energy, Minister of Higher Education, and Minister of Environment, jointly with the Environment in Germany and international cooperation. This working group is starting to develop a kind of activities in the area of renewable energy and energy efficiency. It has 3 thematic groups. One of them for renewable energy and energy efficiency. Second one is for policies and reforms, where our agency are involved in that second thematic group. And third one for clean development mechanism, which is kind of emission trading mechanism. So this is the 3, and out of these 3 thematic groups, several projects is being implemented in order to help in developing, at least for maybe second group, or the thematic group, where we are one, policies as well as a kind of a mechanism in order to stimulate using renewable energy and energy efficiency.
Okay. Dr. Hafez Salmawy, Managing Director of the Egyptian Electric Utility and Consumer Protection Regulatory Agency. Thank you so much for being with us this morning. And of course, Dr. Martin Bergfelder, Head of the Science Department at the German Embassy here in Cairo. Thank you for being with us.
And with this, we come to the end of our breakfast show for today. Thank you all for joining us. Join us again tomorrow, same time, and more on the breakfast show.
Thank you.